The first patch for Mechabreak just dropped a few hours ago, and we have now the official patch notes. Let's go through those changes, and then I will also give you my perspective on what those changes means after I've tried them out, and of course have been playing the game significantly before this patch dropped. Now, I do believe that this is the only patch we are getting before the next playtest or even the release of the game, but it is still very important. So with that said, let's get right to it, shall we? The first one is ALYSNES. ALYSNES. See, I never know how to pronounce that, and this is also my least played mech, and I truly believe that this is actually the least played mech in the game. Not just because it is the starter mech and everyone doesn't want to play that, but the problem was really before this patch, that striker was weak. It was a mix between range and melee and didn't do any of the two things very well. Maneuverability was also so-so, so you just had better strikers who could do the more specialized thing. Like for melee, you would go Panther, right? Or if you wanted to go range, you would have like some of the range strikers or even snipers, which would just do a better job. And yes, even the extra life is not really saving this particular striker. So let's go through the patch note. Energy capacity has been increased and energy regen has also increased. Again, this is helping the maneuverability of the striker and should make it much more agile. Lock-on range increased to 500 meters, adjusted energy autocannon, and Gauss cannon accuracy by distance. Yeah, there was also a problem that even your range weapon wasn't really accurate, and it wasn't good. It's now better. It's still a little bit, it can miss, but it is much, much better than it has been before. Enhanced uncharged shots damage, added charged shots feature for the post armor purge. What does that mean? Well, if you're not holding the button, then your shots will now do more damage, which is again helping with the range capabilities. And from what I have tested, it's pretty decent now. It's pretty decent now. Of course, it cannot compete with the real heavy hitters, which are solely focusing on range. But again, that's not really what you were doing with the striker anyways. And when you purged your armor, which was when you first lost your health, you couldn't charge your attacks anymore. So you would lose quite a bit of damage, especially in melee combat, because you couldn't do that. So they added now that ability to the post armor purge, and it helps. It definitely helps to still deliver quite a bit of damage, even though you are now much, much weaker without the armor, which again is a good improvement. Increased damage to the battle halberd 4-hit combo and leaping cleave. Increased induced sword damage. Yes, I have noticed that. The melee damage is now much stronger. It's still not on the level what Panther can deliver, but then again, Panther has only melee, and that's the only thing how that character delivers damage. So it's a little bit underneath it, but gets dangerously close to those damage numbers. So this was definitely an improvement, and you can feel it. The max HP has been increased, post armor purge, and lock-on time reduced from 0.9 to 0.5 seconds. They have done this to multiple mechs, and it really helps. Like sometimes it took a little bit too long, and it was pretty annoying. Also, that you now have more HP post armor purge will help you to stay in that form a little bit longer. Like most people just purge the armor, immediately called the new armor, and then after they purged it again, they were basically dead, right? And now you were still a little bit dangerous after the armor purge, and I can actually see with those changes that more people will play this character. No energy consumption for maneuvers and melee attacks for 4 seconds. Post armor purge, ground aerial boost, create lockable optical illusions. Again, this is a huge buff to not being just, well, the next snack for every other striker on the battlefield after you purged your armor because you were so weak. You were so weak. Like, you basically had the illusion of hey, I'm still alive because I just purged my armor and didn't die like all the other mechs, but in reality, you were already dead. You couldn't really do anything with the purged armor mech, right? So, good change. I can see that now good players will use this character, and we will probably see some nerfs in the future because this is a lot of buffs, and in combination with each other, it's really strong. It's really strong, so we will see how that goes. Falcon. This was, by the way, the biggest changes of the patch. So if you're thinking, oh god, we will be here a while. No, no, we will not. Falcon energy capacity increased to 32,000. Energy regen is also increased. Makes sense. Again, Falcon was weird. Like, high movability, right? You were one of the most mobile strikers in the game, and you were bleeding energy like crazy. So giving him a little bit more buffer is a good thing, and probably something Falcon needed. Recon kit scans increased from 6 to 7. Yeah, okay, whatever. Speed up each round reload time for the heavy missile to 0.5 seconds. This is a huge boon. So you have more heavy missiles now, and you can use them much faster. This will increase your damage potential by quite a bit. And from what I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some changes here in the future when it comes to the new damage output Falcon can do. But then again, Falcon was pretty weak when it came to really feel the burst, right? So this is a good one, and we will see how this leads. Narukami at the voice alert when decoy drone is destroyed. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, nice. Lumine. Support of Jetwing now only enhances the striker's energy regen and mobility while disabling enemy fire control system within range in corruption form. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, okay. Repair drone deals direct projectile continuous damage while in corruption form. I don't really know what that means because that's what the repair drone already did. I think what they are trying to say with this is when you putting damage on somebody and swap back to repair form, you still would do damage to the enemy, which I could have sworn they did before. Look, even if they did that, that is not helping Lumine. Lumine has a massive problem right now, especially in comparison to the other support. And the moment we will get a third support, which I think will happen fairly soon, Lumine would just disappear. Like, Lumine right now is just not up to the task. It's not great for a lot of repairs. The damage is non existent. And yes, I know the damage is going through the shield, but it's still not great. Like, Lumine has probably a rework even coming. So this is okay, but it doesn't help the striker at all. Sorry. Panther, energy consumption for dash attack initiation is increased to 4,000 points, and ongoing consumption increased to 3,800 points. Yep, this makes sense. They don't want you to drill the whole time 24/7. Panther was anticipated to get a few nerfs because the problem with Panther in particular was that he was highly mobile, right? And he needs that because he doesn't have anything else. But it became sometimes a bit ridiculous, especially if you had a good player who knew how to use his ability to actually regenerate energy. And you could stay in the air on high mobility with Panther longer than the air strikers, which was ridiculous sometimes. Reduced energy consumption for Lance dash attacks initiation, so they lowered that a little bit to make it not unfairly. Prioritize complex shield depletion for frontal attacks when complex shield and reinforced complex shields are both active. That makes sense, and it's more like a fix than a buff, because I will be honest, I don't understand why that wasn't the case. Like, yeah, I get that. Like, when you were putting down the shield, then you might want to use that particular shield first before you were depleting the shield on your mech. Right? It's this, what? Why it wasn't that the case before? So this is a buff. This is a buff, clearly, but it's like, yeah, it makes sense. This should have been the case from the beginning. Reduce the number of shield booster kit activations from 5 to 3. The recharge time is now 9 seconds, and the effect applies only to the reinforced complex shield. Again, this particular ability, the shield booster kit, made Panther really hard to deal with. If you had a player to know exactly how to utilize it, Panther was sometimes unkillable. It was a pain in the ass, to say the least. And that this nerf was coming was anticipated. There might change a few numbers around here. This seems a little bit strong, and we will see how players can utilize this in comparison with all the other nerfs as well. But yeah, this was expected, but it will not kill Panther. Like, Panther is still very good, and good players will still murder with that striker. Now, Inferno, increased energy capacity, cool, whatever. Slightly enhanced booster kit energy recovery. The striker is now immune to staggering when booster kit is activated. Oh, thank God. That's a good thing, right? You're basically boosting up your striker, and you could still get staggered like crazy. Was a bit weird. This is a slight buff. I think the problem is that not a lot of people are playing Inferno right now, and they just want to see how this plays out before they're doing more with this character. Like, Inferno is still up and coming at this point, at least in the higher rankings. So we will see how this goes. Again, this is still beta, and things are changing. Stagger, reduced vertical aiming angle. That's a slight nerf, and I think this is aimed at giving aerial units a little bit more breathing room. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. Like, it's a bit more annoying now for stagger players, but I don't think this changes anything really. Stagger is still brutal. Queller, adjust lock-on time for mobile beam cannon to 0.5 seconds outside sniper mode, and 0.8 seconds for moving targets in sniper mode. This is a buff. It's faster than it was before. Before that, the lock-on took a little bit longer, and now he is just getting his targets faster, which makes sense. So yeah, not really much to say. This is a slight buff, which if you liked Aquila before this, you will still like Aquila after this, and if you didn't care for this character, you will still not care for this character. It's as simple as that. PINAKA, I mean, we have all seen that coming. Keep in mind, I'm a main PINAKA player right now, and I would definitely say I have the most plays with this character, and even I saw the nerfs coming. Reduced splitter magazine size from 15 to 10. This is quite a bit of damage reduction. Keep in mind that the splitter is reloading one shot every 2 seconds, so it takes quite a while to get your magazine full again. But again, yeah, this is the best way on how to nerf a little bit of the damage output without taking away your defense capabilities. After a few plays, it is clear that you now have to be more careful when you are jumping in and when you are going for the hunt of a target. But in reality, you just have to be a little bit more careful. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they're upping the number from 10 to 12 after some testing. Reduced cover airdrop kit direct hit damage on enemy units. I will be completely honest, for the first few games, I never even know that the wall is doing any damage, right? And I had to learn that, and I'm still surprised by that. If they would completely remove the damage from the wall would still be a massive boon to this character, because controlling the battlefield, controlling the view, controlling like everything which is coming in your direction and you can just put up a wall is such a huge bonus you don't really want to miss out on. So even if they completely would remove the damage, it would still be a great ability. But yeah, it's kind of weird they're trying to see if this will do it. I definitely noticed the direct damage, which was reduced, but it's not a big deal. Decrease the emergency support drone repair speed and reduce the defense field recovery by 6 seconds. Okay, I will be honest, I didn't saw this coming. I would have expected to see some other nerfs. This one seems a little bit on the meh end of nerfs because I thought they are trying to push PINAKA a little bit more into the healer role, and they're still nerfing that striker in there. So it's like, that's a bit weird. And what I would definitely love to see, and I hope this is not a nerf or a buff, just a quality of life improvement. Right now, her, because I'm playing a female pilot, that's why I'm saying her, PINAKA left click, man, make it so that you can use that on movable objects. Like that the people have to stand still so that you can actually left click on them is just atrocious. And if you were pushing PINAKA more into the complete healing role, there are still some improvements they can make on the character. But I really like the idea that you have a support which can do both. And I'm curious where they're going with this. Those 3 nerfs, they look a little bit for me that they don't know what they want to do with this character. Like, on the one hand, they don't want this character to do more damage. They don't want to have this character to be support on the battlefield, and they don't want this character to heal well. And it's like, what do you want then? Right. Now again, this is still beta, they're trying out things, they're collecting data, and they will make adjustments. But PINAKA is definitely one of the strikers I'm really curious to see where they're going with it, because it seems like they are a little bit torn on which direction they want to go. But that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We will do definitely more Mechabreak videos here. We are already uploading daily shorts with highlights of me, and there will be more videos and live streams in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.